Forget the glittering Rolls-Royces and the mansions dripping in gold. Behind Hollywood's blinding lights lies a shocking truth. Some of the richest stars alive choose to live as if they have nothing at all. They trade silk sheets for an old couch, luxury brands for secondhand racks, and five-star restaurants for roadside diners. In this countdown, we reveal 20 Hollywood powerhouse, celebrities with bank accounts bigger than blockbuster budgets, who deliberately live like they're broke. Why is it pure madness or a deeper awakening? These stories will challenge everything you thought you knew about wealth, fame, and success. Get ready because you're about to meet the millionaires who live like paupers, and nothing in Hollywood will ever look the same again. Keanu Reeves, the name forever tied to blockbusters like The Matrix and John Wick, just an action legend, has a living paradox in Hollywood. With a net worth soaring past $380 million, Keanu could easily revel in palaces of gold, fleets of supercars, and the kind of excess only a superstar can flaunt. But instead, he chose a life so humble it almost feels unreal. You'll find him riding the subway quietly, reading a book, or sharing a sandwich with a stranger in the park. No bodyguards trailing him, no shiny sports cars, no desperate need to show off. Instead, his joy comes from the simplest things: visiting animal shelters, adopting abandoned pets, or just spending time alone in quiet reflection. And what makes this even more extraordinary is the pain he carries behind the calm. A childhood of instability, a father who walked away too soon, struggles with dyslexia, constantly moving from place to place. Then as an adult, loss upon loss, his best friend River Phoenix gone too young, the child he never got to hold, and the tragic death of his partner. Most people would crumble. Keanu chose to grow kinder, more generous, more human. When The Matrix delivered him a staggering $140 million, he stunned the industry not by spending, but by giving nearly $80 million, quietly handed to the behind-the-scenes crew, the unsung heroes who made the magic possible. No press release, no headlines, just silent generosity in a world obsessed with ego. Today, one of the wealthiest stars on earth still lives in a modest apartment, drives an unremarkable car, and offers his subway seat to strangers. He waits in the rain to meet fans at his own events. He treats every soul famous or not with the same quiet respect. Keanu Reeves is living proof that greatness isn't measured by the size of your fortune, but by the way you treat the world around you. In a Hollywood obsessed with power and spectacle, he remains the rarest kind of legend, one built not on fame, but on humility, compassion, and the beauty of simplicity. Elijah Wood, the face forever tied to Frodo Baggins in The Lord of the Rings, a role that became a true pop culture landmark. But meet Elijah in real life, and you might never guess he once starred in one of the greatest film trilogies in history. With an estimated net worth of $20 million, he could easily live in a Hollywood fortress surrounded by luxury and security. Instead, Elijah chose a very different path. Rather than chasing the spotlight, he left Los Angeles behind and settled in Austin, Texas. His home, a charming Victorian-style house worth under $2 million, no iron gates, no armed guards, no sprawling estate designed to impress, just a warm personal space fare, enough from the chaos of Hollywood to let him breathe. And while fellow actors splurge on flashy cars and wardrobes packed with designer brands, Elijah pours his money into something unusual. His passion, vinyl. He's invested heavily in high-end audio systems, chasing the purest sound possible. For him, luxury isn't measured in yachts or diamond watches. It's in the needle drop of a record, the crisp resonance of music played perfectly. Even his cars reflect this grounded simplicity. Forget Lamborghinis or Rolls-Royces. Elijah drives an Audi, a 4 and a Mini Cooper, ordinary everyday cars you could spot in any parking lot. Hardly what you'd expect from a multimillionaire movie star. But what sets Elijah Wood apart isn't just how he spends his money, it's who he is. In an industry where wealth often overshadows character, Elijah has held on to his kindness. He supports charities, backs causes that align with his values, and refuses to use his fortune as a tool for ego. Elijah Wood is living proof that you can carve your place in cinema history while still choosing a humble, grounded, and sincere life. And maybe, just maybe, that simplicity is the real reason he remains one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. Ed Sheeran name almost everyone recognizes not just for his chart-topping hits, but for a real-life story that leaves people stunned. Has one of the richest singer-songwriters on the planet, with a net worth of around $200 million and jaw-dropping income from world tours. Between June 2019 and June 2020 alone, Ed pulled in $65 million, numbers most artists can only dream of. But what makes Ed remarkable isn't how much he earns, it's how he chooses to live with it. While many artists in his league throw themselves into luxury, supercars, diamond watches, sprawling mansions, Ed went the opposite way. He kept the same student bank account he opened when he first started out. And to this day, he's never upgraded it. Why, he once admitted that if he lumped all his money together, he'd spend it all. So he created his own safeguard, a self-imposed allowance of just $1,000 a month. Yes, 1,000 against his hundreds of millions. It sounds like a joke. And most of that, it goes to paying for taxis. But Ed's simplicity doesn't end with his finances. He's known for crashing on friends' sofas, rather than checking into luxury hotels. One of the most talked about stories was when he stayed at actress Courtney Cox's house while in the U.S. He could have rented out entire hotel wings in Los Angeles, but he preferred the comfort of a friend's couch. Even at the peak of global stardom, Ed avoids the trappings of status. No flashy designer wardrobes, no wild splurges on extravagance. Instead, he pours his time into music friendships and the everyday moments that actually matter. He once said, "You don't have to spend a lot to prove who you are." In an industry where fame usually means an arms race of luxury, Ed Sheeran is the exception. His lifestyle is a statement. True success isn't about what you spend, but about staying whole in the storm of fame. With nothing more than a guitar, a tight circle of friends, and a student bank account that's never changed in over a decade, Ed Sheeran proves that what makes a star truly great isn't what he flaunts, it's how he holds on to simplicity and sincerity. Jennifer Lawrence, the golden girl of Hollywood, has a net worth of around $160 million, placing her firmly among the wealthiest stars in the industry. But what makes Jennifer stand out isn't just her Oscar-winning talent or her string of box office hits. It's the way she's rejected the flashy, extravagant lifestyle that so many in Hollywood consider the norm. Even after skyrocketing to global fame with The Hunger Games and Silver Linings Playbook, Jennifer chose a life most would call too ordinary for an A-list celebrity. For years, she lived in a modest 4,600 square foot apartment in Santa Monica. Comfortable, yes, but nothing close to the sprawling mansions her peers flaunt. Neighbors were stunned to discover that the girl next door was actually one of the highest paid actresses in the world. Her choice of cars told the same story. At the very peak of her fame, in 2012, Jennifer drove a humble Volkswagen EO, not a Rolls-Royce, not a Bentley. The image felt like an echo of Katniss Everdeen, the iconic character she played, grounded, practical, and focused on what really matters. And even after upgrading to a larger home in Los Angeles and a stylish apartment in Tribeca, Jennifer still lives with the same down-to-earth habits. Browsing farmers markets, slipping into thrift stores, wandering city streets without an entourage. While many celebrities treat their wardrobes like fashion runways, Jennifer prioritizes comfort and practicality. Yet her simplicity never translates to stinginess. In fact, she's known for her generosity, quietly donating $2 million to build a pediatric wing in her hometown of Louisville and supporting programs in art education and equal pay. Jennifer Lawrence proves that true wealth isn't about luxury cars, gilded mansions, or glittering parties. Real success lies in staying true to yourself, treating others with kindness, and refusing to let fame devour who you are. In a Hollywood where excess often overshadows authenticity, Jennifer shines as proof that you can be one of the brightest stars and still hold on to simplicity and compassion. Tiffany Haddish, the funny girl of Hollywood, can make an audience roar with laughter on stage, but off stage she's a strategist with a razor-sharp focus. With a net worth of around $6 million, Tiffany could easily slip into the luxury lifestyle that so many A-listers embrace. Yet she's chosen something far more surprising, living as if she's always just one step away from going broke, and that choice is completely intentional. While other stars splurge on yachts and designer wardrobes the moment their first big paycheck lands, Tiffany stays brutally practical, She'll pair a secondhand jacket with a high-end dress or carry a knockoff handbag with a confident smile that says she doesn't care who notices. For her, status symbols mean nothing. Financial freedom, that's the goal she's chasing. Even at the height of her career, Tiffany treats reckless spending like it's a disease to be avoided. Every dollar she earns is carefully measured because she never forgets the sting of having nothing. A childhood of scarcity and years of struggle etch that lesson. Deep fame is fleeting, but financial security must be built with discipline and long-term vision. Instead of flashing wealth for the paparazzi, Tiffany invests, saves, and plans, thinking not only of her future, but of the generations that will come after her. Where many Hollywood stars spend to prove they have it all, Tiffany proves the opposite, that true wealth doesn't need to be flaunted. In a Hollywood where appearances often matter more than reality, Tiffany Haddish is a rare exception. She doesn't live to show off her riches. She lives to make sure that even if the spotlight fades tomorrow, nothing can take away the solid foundation she's worked so hard to build. That makes her more than just an entertainer. She's living proof of the power of disciplined foresight and staying true to what really matters. Nicole Scherzinger, the name that shines under stage lights with chart-topping hits, and the image of a glamorous diva with $8 million in the bank and worldwide fame, most would assume she lives like royalty mansions, lavish parties, private chefs at her beck and call. But peel back the glitter, and you'll find a very different Nicole. Frugal, practical, even clipping coupons at the grocery store. Born into a working-class family, Nicole was taught early that every dollar counts. And even after reaching the pinnacle of global stardom, those lessons stuck. Fans have spotted her wandering supermarket aisles, scanning discount shelves, carefully selecting items as if she still had to stretch every penny. Not because she has to, but because she knows better than most fame fades. But smart money choices last forever. Unlike many of her peers who burn through tens of thousands a month on luxury food delivery and endless parties, Nicole keeps her life tight and disciplined. No waste, no mansion hopping, no spending to prove a point. Her frugality isn't eccentricity, it's strategy. In an industry infamous for volatility where fortunes can vanish overnight, Nicole Scherzinger is playing the long game. On stage, she's a dazzling pop star, but in real life, she lives like someone who still has something to prove, not to the audience, but to herself. And maybe in a world designed to consume its stars, that's her smartest, most powerful move of all. Lady Gaga, the name that roars with spectacle, red carpet shockwaves, and performances powerful enough to shake the world. With a net worth north of $330 million, everyone assumes she lives like a textbook. Diva fleets of luxury cars, sprawling mansions, armies of stylists, and glittering golden parties. But behind the lights, the truth is startlingly different. Gaga openly admits that she still clips coupons when she goes grocery shopping. That's right, the same mother monster who once ruled the Super Bowl stage still shops like the rest of us. Before she was Lady Gaga, she was just Stefani Germanotta, struggling artist in a cramped 1100 New York apartment, and even after exploding into superstardom, she kept living there. Fame and fortune never uprooted her humble core. It wasn't until years later, after relentless hard work, that Gaga finally bought herself a Malibu mansion worth $225 million. But even then, her spending habits remained unique. Instead of splurging on flashy cars or diamond jewelry, she dropped thousands on an electromagnetic ghost detector. Why? She simply wanted to make sure her new home wasn't haunted. Only Lady Gaga could make the world laugh and shake its head at the same time. Her manager once confessed he was shocked to see she rarely ever maxed out her credit cards. Gaga herself has said flatly, "I don't spend money. It sounds like a joke, but I'm dead serious." Behind the glittering costumes and massive world tours, Gaga is still a woman of practicality, disciplined, frugal, and firmly in control of her finances. Her choices, as eccentric as they may seem, come from the values she was raised with: realism, family, and the desire to command her own destiny. Lady Gaga is living proof that you can be one of the biggest entertainment icons on earth and still live as if you're just getting started, simple, practical, and entirely in her own lane. Leonardo DiCaprio, the ultimate A-list star, a man whose name is tied to billion-dollar blockbusters and countless walks down glittering red carpets. But off-screen, he's famous for something entirely different: his surprising frugality and stripped-down way of life. While his peers pour fortunes into supercars, private islands, and endless parties, Leonardo is often seen driving a modest hybrid car, simply pedaling his bicycle through the streets like anyone else. The man who can dominate the Oscars is just as comfortable in a plain t-shirt, a baseball cap, and carrying his own grocery bags as he blends into the crowd instead of setting himself apart with luxury. Even his living arrangements tell the same story. Rather than a sprawling empire of mansions, DiCaprio often opts for modest rentals, eco-friendly hotels, and even rewears the same suit and worn shoes on multiple red carpets. For him, it's not about being cheap, it's a statement: a person's value isn't measured by what they flaunt. And the reason behind this restraint becomes crystal clear when you see his true priority. The environment. DiCaprio has poured millions of dollars into fighting climate change, protecting wildlife, and promoting sustainability. Through the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, he's spearheaded global initiatives, proving that wealth to him is a tool for change, not a vanity project. On screen, Leonardo DiCaprio transforms into glamorous, powerful, and commanding figures. But when the lights fade, he chooses authenticity, simplicity, and a mission far larger than himself. In a Hollywood obsessed with extravagance, DiCaprio quietly stands as living proof that real wealth isn't about what you keep for yourself. It's about the impact you leave on the world. Zooey Deschanel, the name forever linked with sweet, quirky roles on screen, turned out to have a personal life far more surprising than any character she's ever played. With a net worth of $25 million, you'd expect her to spend like the rest of Hollywood's elite. But when her financial records went public during her divorce, the truth shocked everyone. She earns nearly $95,000 a month, yet spends only around $22,000. No debt, no waste, no lavish splurges, a complete reversal of the spend-it-all lifestyle that defines Tinseltown. While her peers chase after multi-million-dollar mansions and fleets of luxury cars, Zoe chose something humbler: a cozy mid-century home in the Hollywood Hills for just $169 million, modest by celebrity standards, but perfectly in line with who she is: warm, timeless, and utterly authentic. Even fashion, the golden currency of Hollywood, glamour-scent cage, her Zoe is often spotted in thrift shops, digging for one-of-a-kind treasures instead of the latest designer bags or gowns. For her, style isn't something you swipe a credit card for, it's something that radiates from your true self. But Zoe goes further still. She co-founded Hello Giggles, a website built on positivity, encouraging women to embrace joy in the little things. That's her manifesto: happiness isn't found in status symbols, but in connection, honesty, and living authentically. On screen, her character Jess could burst into song at any moment, filling the room with laughter. But off screen, Zooey Deschanel sings a very different tune, a quiet, simple melody that lingers far longer. In a Hollywood obsessed with excess, Zoe stands apart, calm, frugal, and unapologetically real. Julia Roberts, the very name crowned as Hollywood's quintessence, just famous for that $1 million smile, but for a staggering net worth of over $140 million. With that kind of fortune, she could easily live in golden palaces, jet-set the world in private planes, and drape herself in designer brands and diamonds. But the life Julia chooses is the exact opposite of Hollywood's glossy fantasy. Instead of lavish boutiques, Julia is often spotted browsing thrift stores, running her hands across secondhand racks, hunting for unique pieces that carry a story. For her, true style isn't about the price tag, it's about finding value in the little details. And that's what makes her an icon of effortless elegance, standing apart from Hollywood's endless display of excess. Her simplicity doesn't stop at fashion. Julia is known to shop at local markets, reusable bags in hand, blending into the crowd as she picks out vegetables, fruits, and everyday essentials. No personal assistant, no luxury concierge, just Julia savoring the ordinary joy of choosing her own groceries. In a world where most stars never touch everyday chores, she embraces them as her way of staying grounded. But perhaps the most powerful statement is in the way she raises her children. Though she could easily shower them with the world's most extravagant luxuries, Julia dresses them in hand-me-downs from friends, teaching that true worth isn't stitched into a label, It's built through gratitude in the way you live your life. She's openly said that she wants her kids to grow up, valuing peace, simplicity, and appreciation, exactly the life she's chosen for herself. Julia Roberts proves something rare. You can stand at the peak of fame and still let simplicity guide you. Real success isn't about how much you spend, it's about holding on to who you really are, even when the world tries to turn you into something else. In the blinding glare of Hollywood, Julia shines with a light of her own, one made of authenticity, humility, and gratitude. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunisoni, of Hollywood's ultimate power couple, sit on a combined fortune of around $140 million. With that kind of wealth and fame, most people assume their lives are filled with lavish mansions, glittering parties, and closets overflowing with luxury. But the reality couldn't be more different, and for many fans, downright shocking. When it came time to tie the knot, Mila didn't step into the high-end jewelers of Beverly Hills or commission a custom design from an elite brand. Instead, she quietly logged onto Etsy, the online handmade marketplace, and bought platinum wedding bands for under $200 in Hollywood. That amount barely covers dessert at a five-star restaurant. In a city where excess is the norm, that choice was nothing short of rebellious, and their frugality doesn't stop at wedding rings. Ashton and Mila have drawn a clear line. Money doesn't define character, and they don't want their children growing up in a bubble of privilege. In the Kutcher-Kunis household, Christmas doesn't mean mountains of expensive gifts under the tree. Instead, the kids are encouraged to give to charity, to learn the joy of generosity rather than the expectation of indulgence. Mila once joked, "Mom and Dad may have a dollar, but you're poor." Behind the humor is a serious philosophy. Their children are not allowed to see their parents' wealth as a golden ticket to luxury. Those values are rooted deep in their own past. Ashton grew up in a small Iowa town shaped by years of financial hardship. Mila arrived in America at just 7 years old, an immigrant from Ukraine, carrying the weight of a childhood filled with challenges. Both know firsthand that success isn't handed to you, and that's exactly why they want their kids to learn hard work, gratitude, and responsibility. In a Hollywood where flaunting wealth is practically part of the brand, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis chose the opposite road. They've proven you can hold both fame and fortune, yet still live simply, humbly, and anchored in real values. To them, success isn't about having it all, it's about protecting what matters most. Family integrity and staying true to who you are. You might catch her at discount stores, happily digging through clearance racks, hunting for deals, as if every dollar still matters. For Hallie, joy doesn't come from flaunting the latest designer piece. It comes from the quiet thrill of finding a bargain no one would ever expect a millionaire to notice. But this humility didn't just appear overnight. Hallie was raised by a single mother in a childhood marked by struggle. She learned early the value of saving, of cherishing every hard-earned cent. And when she chased her acting dreams in New York, the reality was brutal, so brutal. She once had to live in a homeless shelter. Those days didn't break her. They built her into someone resilient, grounded, and deeply aware of what truly matters. Even when Hollywood bowed at her feet, Halle Berry held on to that simplicity. Just look at her wedding. While many celebrities spend millions to create media spectacles, Halle chose a quiet, intimate ceremony. No golden gown, no fairy tale castle. Just love, just honesty. Just the people who mattered most. In a world obsessed with excess, Halle Berry is a rare exception. She proves that real wealth isn't measured by what's in your bank account or the price tags on your clothes. It's in the values you carry, the memories you treasure, and the relationships you protect. In the noisy chaos of Hollywood, Halle Berry lives quietly, humbly, and that's exactly what makes her truly unforgettable. Ashley Greene, the face forever tied to Alice Cullen from the Twilight Saga, may have a net worth of only around $8 million as of 2024, a modest figure compared to Hollywood's A-list giants. But what makes Ashley stand out isn't the number in her bank account, it's the way she lives, grounded, practical, and strikingly different from the extravagance that defines so many of her peers. As far back as 2012, Ashley shocked fans when she told Marie Claire that she always flies economy, even at the very peak of her career. Her reason was simple but nearly unheard of in Hollywood. She doesn't believe the luxury of first class is worth the inflated price tag. While fellow stars drop fortunes on private jets and VIP services, Ashley prefers to save investing her money into things that matter in the long run. This isn't a habit she picked up after success. It's part of who she's always been, raised in a family that valued discipline and financial responsibility. Ashley grew up with her father teaching her to budget, plan, and think long-term. Those lessons became her compass, allowing her to step into Hollywood without being swallowed by the glamour or the money. That same wisdom shows in the way she's navigated her career. Instead of grabbing every big paycheck offered, she's been selective, choosing projects based on passion and growth. After Twilight, a global phenomenon that raked in billions and turned her into an overnight star, Ashley resisted the lure of excess. She focused instead on stretching her range from indie films like Skateland to horror projects like The Apparition to television work in Panama. Bit by bit, she's proven she's more than just Alice Cullenches, an actress who knows how to steer her career with intention. In a Hollywood notorious for excess and volatility, Ashley Greene remains a rare exception. She chooses financial discipline over reckless spending, quality over quantity, and personal growth over quick fame. And in doing so, she's carved out something far more valuable than short-term stardom, a sustainable, balanced career built to last. Daryl Hanahan, iconic face of the 1980s celebrated for her beauty and talent, has lived a life that runs completely against the grain of Hollywood glamour. With a fortune of over $15 million, she could easily settle into a Beverly Hills mansion staffed with a private team and a wardrobe bursting with designer labels. Instead, she chose something astonishingly different, a small home she renovated herself, built from recycled materials, simple to the point of disbelief. No glitz, no extravagance, just the basics. A lush vegetable garden she tends with her own hands. At times, she even takes her produce to local farmers markets to sell or trade, a sight almost unimaginable for a millionaire actress. Coming from an affluent artistic family in Chicago, Hannah had every opportunity to embrace a life of excess. Yet she walked away from that path entirely. Her story has never been conventional. From an early age, Daryl struggled with severe shyness and was later diagnosed with autism. To help her break free from isolation, her mother moved the family to Jamaica, change that opened a new chapter. By 17, Hannah landed her first role in Fury. Just a few years later, she was etched into sci-fi legend as Pris in Blade Runner. From there, Hollywood glory came in waves: Splash, Roxanne, Steel Magnolias, Kill Bill. Her name was cemented among A-list royalty. But unlike so many of her contemporaries, Hannah never let fame blind her to the values she held close. She didn't flaunt her success or squander her earnings on status symbols. Instead, she embraced slowness, simplicity, and a deep connection to the natural world. And her devotion to the environment has never been mere talk. She once shocked audiences by drinking biodiesel on camera to prove its safety. She's been arrested multiple times, not for scandal, but for activism, including her stand against the controversial Keystone XL pipeline. Where others write checks from penthouses, Daryl Hannah takes to the streets, digs in the soil, and quite literally fights for the planet. Daryl Hannah doesn't just talk about living simply, she embodies it every day, every choice. And maybe that's what makes her truly exceptional. A Hollywood star who turned her back on the spotlight in order to hold on to what matters most: nature, values, and uncompromising authenticity. Carrie Underwood, the country music powerhouse who turned a small-town dream in Muskogee into a $140 million empire. With 7 Grammy Awards, more than 60 million records sold worldwide, and an army of loyal fans, the Care Bears Carrie could live draped in luxury, indulging in every glittering excess Hollywood has to offer. But her real-life story could be more different. Even at the height of her fame, Carrie has held on to a lifestyle so simple it almost feels unbelievable. While many stars of her generation snap up multi-million-dollar mansions and flashy cars, she stays grounded, practical, and sometimes shockingly frugal. Carrie still clips coupons for her grocery runs, does her own shopping, and prefers home-cooked meals over fine dining. And when she does treat herself, it's usually nothing fancier than a sandwich from Subway. This isn't a publicity stunt, it's who she really is. Carrie grew up humble, a small-town girl chasing a big dream. She nearly signed a record deal at 14, but fate waited until 2004 when she stepped onto the American Idol stage and never looked back. That journey etched a belief deep in her fame should never erase the values of hard work, responsibility, and appreciating every dollar earned. That same philosophy shapes her family life with husband former NHL star Mike Fisher. Instead of raising their kids in a bubble of celebrity privilege, they teach humility, gratitude, and financial awareness. For Carrie, wealth doesn't mean handing her children a free pass to extravagance. It means giving them the tools to value what they have. Carrie Underwood isn't just a country star. She's living proof that you can stand under the blinding lights of a sold-out stadium, shake the rafters with your voice, and still go home as a down-to-earth woman with coupons in hand, picking up groceries for your family. In a Hollywood obsessed with showing off, Carrie's honesty and simplicity shine as a kind of wealth money can't buy. And so we've journeyed through the lives of Hollywood's wealthiest stars, those who against all odds choose to live simply, even frugally. From million-dollar mansions swapped for modest apartments, to flashy supercars replaced by beat-up rides, or even coupon clipping at the grocery store. One truth shines through: real success isn't always measured by extravagance, but by staying true to who you are under the spotlight. Now the question is, what do you think of this lifestyle? Is it genuine humility or just a carefully crafted image to win public admiration? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because this is a debate worth having. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss the next surprising story from the ever unpredictable world of Hollywood. Predictable world of Hollywood. Predictable world of Hollywood. Predictable world of Hollywood.